I'm a winner. What's your favorite game besides Dark Souls 3? Over. Okay, well, my favorite games of all time, in air quotes, will start chronologically, I guess. Ocarina of Time is what got me into video games more than just a passing thing, hobby. You know, it really got me into it. So Ocarina of Time, super into that. Definitely into Majora's Mask, Wind Waker. We can stop the list there. Or Seasons and Ages. Sure, there's Zelda. We can stop the list there. Other big games I really enjoy. Resident Evil 4, probably my favorite game. If it's top 5 favorite game of all time for sure. I played it again last year, did everything in the game. It's still amazing. Resident Evil 4 is some things we've gotten better at doing, so it's not that it's aged badly, it's just feels a little old. But it is so close to being perfect. The problem with Resident Evil 4 is that Capcom accidentally, in air quotes, one of the best games ever, and I don't know if we will ever get a game that does something like that does something so well. Like, Dark Souls does Dark Souls really well. But Resident Evil 4 completely changed Resident Evil and influenced so many things. Like, out of Resident Evil 4, we get Gears of War. Like, we straight up get Gears of War. Dark Souls isn't really inspiring any copycats, and even if it did, they'd still feel like third-person action games. Nothing does Resident Evil 4 with the pacing and how it's set up, which is also the pacing. Phenomenal, phenomenal game. I love Resident Evil 4. I guess we'll just pick major favorites. I'm also a big fan of Killer 7 on PS2 and GameCube, which is the first Suda 5.1 game to get released here in America, I believe. I also think it's his best game. It's it's like if Quentin Tarantino made a game. There's a lot of plot in it. It's not linear per se. It's actually a lot of puzzles, but you shoot in first person, you move in third person, but you hold the A button to move. So you just hold it to move, you press B to turn around. So you're on rails that you control, but the story's batshit insane. It's got some plot twists and just things that happen in it that are still just amazing. Unlike anything I've ever seen in a game is Killer 7. There's just some of the things it does, movies would shy away from doing. There is a character, because you're playing as like an assassin, there's this character who is harvesting organs and selling them on the black market, but he specifically harvests from children. And it's like, that's just his backstory in a game? Like, what the fuck's going on? That's the kind of interesting things. Hey, Will the Will, feels bad, man. You're forgiven with Yohio or whatever the hell her name is. But I love Killer 7. People kind of talk about it a lot more now. I was huge into it back when it came out. I was so excited. I had some things spoiled for me. Loved it. Loved it. Killer 7 is amazing. Probably hasn't aged very well. It's really stupid because it hit me at when I was 14 or something. It's the perfect time to play a game like that because every time you kill the enemies and these weird little zombie things in the game, you're supposed to shoot the guys in Killer 7 at a designated spot. And when you do that, it's like a critical hit, it kills them instantly. And each character you play as one of 7 guys. Oh, we'll get to the last. I'll talk about the last of it. You play as one of these 7 guys, and each character has their own little catchphrase when they kill something. Well, one guy doesn't because he doesn't talk at all. But that's so funny. One of the guys, when he kills you, he just says, "You're fucked." Like you're fucked. Like that's what he says every time you kill something. He says it. It's so dumb. It's so very dumb. And the other guy says "fuck you." The other guy says something like "you bastard" or something. Like it's really dumb. It's really dumb at certain points, but it's so much fun. I love that game to death. Circle back to what you're saying about The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us is far and away the best thing Naughty Dog's ever done. Just way ahead of Uncharted. I don't think Uncharted's that great. It's a solid 7 out of 10 to me. It may be a little better sometimes. It has peaks and valleys. Last of Us was something that was so refreshing. And you might be right on that. When me talking about Resident Evil 4, Last of Us is very much that same vein, survival horror, and it is, a lot of it is Resident Evil. You wouldn't have Last of Us in the same way you'd have Last of Us without Resident Evil 4. You just wouldn't. There wasn't a precedent for it. Like, it would have. Last of Us is a phenomenal game. I do want to play it again. I got it on PS4, but I never played it. I played it on PS3, obviously. Maybe I'll do that this summer when nothing comes out in the fucking summer. But it's so good. And what they did there with the stealth, emphasis on stealth, so much better than the Uncharted games. Loved that game. Love it to that. It's really good. I don't know if I'd say it's my top 10 games of all time or whatever, but it's top 50, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. I do love that milieu. I don't need air quotes for that. So going back to chronological, man, the next game might be Dark Souls, might be Demon Souls. I love those games. Obviously, I'll ramble on about them forever and have them here. Me fighting this guy. If this isn't where I die, I finish in the next time, doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe Demon Souls, like the Demon Souls was the first game since Zelda that I like. So when you play Ocarina of Time for the first time, and when you're 10 or whatever, 9, when I played it for the first time, you don't know anything. I'd never played a third-person action game before. I'd never done all this shit, so I didn't know what to expect. I never played a game where you go on a fish. You know, I never played a game where there was a lost woods or a forest or even a lake or a lava level. Like, I never played these games. I primarily played like Sonic 2, like a completely different game. So I never played anything like that. And it's a very different experience when you're playing a game under those circumstances, under those you know nothing Jon Snow circumstances. And years went by of me playing games, and I forgot about that feeling entirely. Forgot about the feeling that it even existed. But Demon Souls brought that back to me. When I played Demon Souls, I realized, like, this is how I felt playing Ocarina of Time 10 years ago, when I didn't know anything. That's what I love the Souls games, because they feel, you play them in a way that's foreign and scary, in the same way where I got to the first boss at the end of the Deku Tree, and I was scared, and I didn't want to go fight him, and my friend was there. I was like, you play it, you've done this before, like, you play the game. It's like, no, this is you gotta fight the boss. And I remember fighting him, and he pops out, and it's this weird thing, and it, Goma on the screen. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy. I never played something like that, and Demon Souls and the Souls games bring that back. That's how they make me feel like it was. It's very nostalgic in this weird way of not Zelda necessarily, but of how I felt not knowing anything about those types of games. And that's why I love them. It's weird, nebulous thing that's not a real reason. It's just in my head, like everything else is. That's why I love them. But as for other games that have come out recently, I do like the Telltale stuff. You mentioned the Telltale games. I do like the Telltale stuff. But I like Mass Effect quite a bit. I like Smash Bros. Quite a bit. Played Smash Bros. Every day for probably a couple of years, Melee, more specifically. Oh, thanks for hanging out, Wolfman. Always nice to have a random person come on and not be a dick. You'd think that'd be more common. So yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas. Safe travels. I don't know what you're doing, but so Mass Effect. Oh, Metal Gear. I completely forgot about Metal Gear. I love Metal Gear. The only Metal Gear I don't like is Peace Walker, but I love Metal Gear. Phenomenal game. Will the Will, are you still here? William the Will. I'm gonna call you Will the William. No, that's confusing. William the Will. Which you should explain what that means, because I don't know. Is it just being goofy? I don't know. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid, I love it. 5 was a disappointment story-wise, overall, more or less, but not gameplay-wise. Loved it. Loved that. Loved 4. Loved 3. 3's my favorite. Pretty sure still. 2's alright. 1's amazing. Peace Walker's terrible. Not terrible, but don't play it. And portable apps, don't even bother now. Don't even bother. I see you trying to bother. Don't do it. Don't bother. What other games are my favorite games of all time? It's tough. Let me look at my list over here. Those are movies. Yeah, Bayonetta. To Saga, the comic. Oh. Let me get back to that. But love Bayonetta. I think Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, some of the best action games ever made, bar none. Get off this God of War shit train and play Bayonetta. God of War is terrible. It is not a good combat system. Play something that you have fucking rocket launchers on your legs and you have a katana, or you can have ice skates that are weapons and you have a giant hammer. Like these weird weapon varieties with a fast combat system that's so much fun. Look up Saga. I'm not gonna look up Saga, and I'll tell you why, because I'm circling back to that. Because I bought it. I bought the not the trade paperback, but like the big compendium, like volume 1. It's like 200 pages or something. And I read maybe the first issue or two, like 2 issues maybe, and it didn't hook me. And I'm not sure if it was the story or if it was I'm just not into comics. I'm definitely not into comics. But it's sitting on my shelf, and every time I see it, I'm like, man, I really should read that because I bought it. So maybe I will. I will. I'll read it. Because I wanted to, and people rave about Saga. Volume 1 fancy. It was like $20. Like a fucking ritzy over here. Ooh, you're so fancy. It's like $20 on Amazon. It's not like I sold a child. Like, but yeah, and people rave about it and say it's amazing and blah 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 blah. I didn't get that. I didn't get that from the first issue, and I don't. There's something about comics that just don't do it for me. And I don't know. The art is good, but I don't really care. Like nothing's really shown in the art, and if it is, it's really cool, or it's hard to see what's going on, and I can't help but want more storytelling as opposed to just random dialogue and pictures. Like I'm reading, what was it? Old Man Logan, or is it Old Man Wolverine? No. Is it Old Man Wolverine or Old Man Logan? I thought it was Old Man Logan. Doesn't matter. I'm reading it, and it's fine. Like people are saying this was a great, 10 issues or whatever, and it's fine. Like I can't help read this and go, man, this would be a great book. Like words, descriptions, because the way comic books tell stories is so cookie cutter and boring to me, in that the issues are so short. It has something happen. They all start. They like end with so they end with a cliffhanger. The beginning of each issue is the start, the resolution of the cliffhanger. Then there's a lull, and then there's another rising action again. And that's every single issue. Wolverine, Old Man Logan. It's Old Man Logan. I was right. People were giving me shit. Someone was like, it's Old Man Wolverine. I'm like, I think you're wrong because I have the book right here. But see, that's the problem with comic books. It's like, okay, here's Old Man Logan. The premise is the bad guys took over the world or the United States or whatever, and every hero is dead. Almost all the heroes are dead. Wolverine, something bad happened to him. He doesn't fight anymore. He's a pacifist. That's a really cool premise. Oh, let's go and tell 6 issues of like nothing, and like Hawkeye does cool stuff, I guess. He's blind. Hawkeye's blind, spoilers. Not that it matters, that's the first issue. But it's like, okay, so in this issue, it looks like Hawkeye's gonna die. And Wolverine is in this car, and he doesn't want to fight, and he's like, that's why he's sitting in the car, right? So then he drives the car to, like, hit the person off of Hawkeye, so that Hawkeye can get in the car and they jump out of they're in a building, doesn't matter, and they fly out the building. So the issue ends and he's about to die. The next issue begins, and he jumps out, rescues him, and that's like 2 pages. They land, they're being chased, that's 1 page. Then the floor opens up, and they all fall in, that's 1 page. The next page is, oh shit, all these monsters are everywhere. They've eaten everyone who was following us, except for us for some reason. We got to escape. Turn the page, they escaped. It's baffling. Like, this is not, like, what is happening? There's so much missing here. There's actual adventures these characters are going on that they're not talking about at all. Like, and the stuff that they do talk about is interesting, but you were just being followed by a bunch of guys that looked like Mad Max. You fell into a pit with weird, creepy alien creatures that ate everyone, and then you left. That was 3 pages. That was 3 pages of the book. We're being chased. We fell into a hole. There's aliens around. 4th page, we're good. We're done. We're done with the aliens. Like, what the fuck just happened? You just escaped all the crazy meat-eating aliens? I don't understand. And then they finally, like 6 issues in, say what happened to Wolverine, which is really cool. That was amazing. I loved that. Why didn't you start with that? Why didn't you, like, do any... It's just not very interesting. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. Maybe Saga's better. Maybe you're telling me. But I didn't like it that... It was just all over the place. It was a lot of, oh, here's this giant computer man. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is. Here's some kids, and they're not supposed to be in this area. Or not kids. They're having a kid, and they're not supposed to be in this area, and their love is forbidden or something. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I need a guide. I need a guidebook. Is what I'm saying. I don't know. So yeah, I don't understand comics. In conclusion, I don't understand comics at all. Apparently, and people are calling me. But let me know if Saga. I'll have to go and read it. I'll have to go and read Saga. Everyone won't shut up about it, so I should read it. But if I get like 10 issues in and I still don't like it, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna read it just to read it, right? That's not good. You shouldn't do that. Well, Will, let me know if there's any weird questions you have about any other comic books I hate, or space aliens, or maybe my other favorite games, least favorite games. I don't really want to talk about that. It's exhausting. Can I talk about Dark Souls 3 some more because it's amazing? No? You can't? Okay. This is the second boss of the game. It's a pretty good boss. It's got scary mace. Kaboom! I actually did pretty good on this boss. Anyway, I'm trying to think. I'm actually more on the topic of weird questions coming up. Back to comics. I'm more of a manga guy than comics. I think they tell more interesting stories, ones I read, which include Naruto. So it's not like I'm reading the fucking the like War and Peace of manga over here. I like the art better. Even though it's just like simple, but you get more of it. Like there's so much more. You can spend $10 on manga and get so much more content than $10 on comics. Just so much more, and a more interesting story to me. It's definitely more for me. I don't know. Which is weird saying that because I haven't read any manga in years. You say there's weird questions, but you don't actually ask a question. What is this? Kappa Pride. Oh, not Kappa Rainbow. Do you read horror manga? Speaking of that, I bought the Junji Ito. What is it? Oh, I'm spacing on the name. It's right over there. I can see it. Uzumaki or no? Whatever. No, I have it though. I'm thinking of weird questions. Oh, okay. I haven't read it, but it's on my shelf, ready to be read. They were like super cheap. I bought Gyo, which is another one he did, and then it is Uzumaki. I think it is Uzumaki. It doesn't matter. I bought both of those. They're super cheap on Amazon when I bought them. Like $10 for this like big volume. I haven't read them. I really do want to. I love the art on that. That art's crazy cool. Crazy cool. Watch me fight this boss. Fight, 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 fight. Omezu? So what have I missed of the show? You've missed most of the show. Sorry to say. About an hour, Renji. Now we're talking about manga while watching Dark Souls. I read The Drifting Classroom. I don't know what that is specifically. What have we missed though? Battleborn, which I liked, and Dark Souls 3, which I love. Might be another guy. But Umezu. Let me look up the... No, it's not Umezu. Oh, if you're saying that's a name of something. Let me look it up. Now we're looking up Uzumaki. Is the Junji Ito one I bought. It's the spiral head thing. You've seen it. I'll pull it up right here. Uzumaki. These weird spiral head thing. This is another reason why I don't want to read it, because it's like kind of creepy and I'm like scared of everything. What the hell is this a picture of? Oh my god. See, this is why... Alright, let's get that off the screen. And get that too. Go back to Dark Souls. Go back to Dark Souls where we're safe. We're safe from weird demon creatures. Because I can't do that. I like to read at like the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to read some scary horror thing and then go to sleep and have crazy spiral dreams. But I bought it. Another in a long list of things I've bought that I've done nothing with. I've done more with this whiteboard than I've done with that thing. Any book ever. Alright, think of another question. I'll stay for one more question. Someone's calling me and I gotta deal with morons. No, they're not stupid, but call me. Think of other manga. I want to talk about manga. We can't talk about comics because I haven't read any comics. I actually did. I read some Miss Marvel because everyone was like, "Oh, it's new and it's good." And I read a couple issues of that, and I was like, "It's fine. It's fine." That's how I feel about comics. They're fine. That's a thing. I think comic book movies are so much better than comics. It's not even close, and I think it does come down to the art. The art just isn't epic enough, in air quotes, on a lot of comics. The Spiral manga, yeah. I can get that. I beat the boss. Yay. Yeah, there is something about comics. It's like, I don't care how nice your inks are and your coloring and all this garbage. Because if you're just drawing Hawkeye and Wolverine in a Jeep riding around, then you ain't drawing nothing. Okay? That doesn't need to be detailed. You know what does need to be detailed? The fight scenes. Or when a cool character shows up and does a pose. That needs to be detailed and colored. Everything else can be irrelevant. It is useless to spend however much time it takes coloring all this garbage that's just them in a Jeep. I don't get it. I don't get comic books. Maybe that's what it is. I don't understand comic books. And maybe I never will. I probably never will. Alright, think of any remaining thing you want to say, want to ask. That's fine. It's fun hanging out with you specifically. Only you, really, most of the time, half the time. But that's fine. I like doing this, even if no one watches, because no one was for a long time. It's fun to do. It's shockingly fun to just ramble on and watch myself playing Dark Souls, beating monsters. But yeah, I do the show every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, right here, where you are right now, if you're here right now. If you're not here right now, you stumbled upon this on YouTube, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry I don't like comic books. I'm actually not sorry about that. I don't think they're that great. Sorry, comic books. I will sit here and watch myself play Dark Souls, though. Dark Souls. That's what I'm gonna go do after this, play Dark Souls. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dark. Which Dark Souls boss do you think would be the most into comic books? There's this one enemy in this game that's holding a book and like uses it for spells. They'd probably like anything with a book. But a boss? I don't think a lot of these bosses are like monsters. I don't think they can read. So it had to be one that could be humanoid that could read. The boss from Bloodborne, Mikosh or something. He's like locked in a tower, basically. He'd probably be into comic books. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Everyone else is like trying to kill you. He almost seems annoyed you're there. I think is he surrounded by books? Is that books? I don't know. But that's it. I can't hang out much longer, otherwise it'll be me rambling for 60 minutes, which is fun for me. It's not even that fun. Is it fun? Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I do enjoy that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, Will. I will maybe read Saga eventually and understand what your name means. Until then, it's a secret. And I'll be playing Super Mario Maker this weekend. Ow. I'm popping my thumb, which now is now just broken and dead. Great. Good job. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.